Hello everyone, welcome. This is a part 2 of setting up my A5 Slim Manager's Notebook from Papertess. My name is Katie. I forget to say that often, but welcome. So what I did initially in my first video, and I will have it linked below, is mainly just some stickers and like my big sticker and setting up just a couple pages. I'm using the January sticker kit from this year, 2024. But you may be watching this in the following year. And I just wanted to kind of see how I can be setting up like the first week here. And it was very minimal. So I take a really slow kind of iterative, I can't say it. I take my time of trying new things and making small changes until I kind of get it to where I like, and then, complete it through the rest of the year. So, yeah, there's not much here. I put in all of the, holidays. That's what they're called. And so I have like a really good base going on. What I did not cover, that I said I would come back to is, after, so I have like, here's where I'm going to be tracking, income from YouTube. I could be doing other income streams too. And probably my YouTube count here, because that's the primary number I look at. And then this will be like social media planning of when my videos are coming out and when posts are, so I can kind of see them in a bigger, like a zoomed out view, and then ideas on this side. But the one thing I did not cover was this area. So this is, there were 2 blank pages here. So right here, 2 dot grid, and I taped these 2 in because I really wanted to use this. I got this in the sub kit. I only got 1 sub kit. I didn't actually subscribe. I just got up really early because I'm on the West Coast and picked up a full sub kit from Sterling Ink for January. I loved it. Didn't really get any kits after that because I like certain pieces that she has. And I also took that same piece, and it kind of continues on there. If I hold this, it kind of matches there. And this is a layout I created sort of based on the Sterling Ink. When you have all those goals for breaking down goals, I used that last year, and I'm going to do a whole video on that as well about, I'll link it down below, called No Goals, Just Strategies. And I pretty much, what I did was I erased all the labels on the top, just used it as like a square grid, and made areas for high, medium, and low energy. And then I plotted out like typical things that I do in my like personal or just everyday life, and thought about what I could do on those days when I'm feeling that way. This is the business version of that. And I made this as my matrix insert, is what I call this, and it's under my business of Sanctuary Paper Co., and it's a downloadable. This size I just created, so it's brand new on my site. It's the A5 Slim size, and basically you can use it vertically or you can use it horizontally. And I decided to use it horizontally because when you turn it this way, it looks really pretty. So, and it was a little easier to write on. And so this is blank and this is blank, so you can turn it into whatever you want. I put categories here, and you don't have to have anything on the bottom, but I kind of decided to have one small goal under each of these. So this is actually like, it's not a no goals, because in business, you need to have some goals. In personal, you can like back off from that. You can just say, look, I'm maintaining what I have. I am giving myself space. I have some minimums I want to meet, like, taking care of myself. But I don't have to go out there and learn how to ride a horse or knits things or like have a brand new hobby. Like, I don't feel like I need to crochet a new quilt. Like, that's just me. But in business, I do have some goals coming up. And so it's kind of a mix. It's like strategies. And then I really wanted to do something really small at the bottom. I don't want to give it a timed thing. I could complete these before January. I could complete these December of 2025. Like, that's going to be up to me and how I'm feeling. So, and being neurodivergent, sometimes having demanding goals of some kind can be really hard. Like, I feel like I have to. I feel like something's dictating something to me. I feel trapped sometimes, and other times I can look at that goal and keep looking at it and going, you know what? I can do part of that goal today, or what does that goal actually look like? And then I start visualizing myself doing it, and then I kind of get into it. So there's like a whole process I do about goals, but that's not what this is specifically. This is having the categories of my business. So YouTube and doing lives here, Instagram and Facebook, podcasts, coaching, clients that I've had for a long time, which is more my website clients, and newsletter that I'm trying to spin back up, and just regular admin stuff. So there's always 7 boxes. You can get this matrix I need to get the weeks put together. That's been lingering. But there is a B6 size, there's an A5 size, there's a TN size, and then there's personal ring size. And the A5 size actually is for rings and bound books. Or you can just draw your own, it's totally up to you. But I love using this in a bound book, and just printing it on Tomoe River paper. I just get one of these from Amazon. It's an A4, and then I cut it down, and my printer is a very old printer. It is an Epson 645 or something. It's one of those all-in-one, but if I put in one sheet of that paper, trim down to size, and I tell my printer to just print 100% to that size, it does great. These lines are a little blue because I need to change some toner, but I'm just using up what I have right now. Anyway, so I went through and I looked at, if I had a lot of energy, what could I do in these categories? And I'm not talking about hitting every single category in a day. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like probably one of these a day. Per day. Yeah. I have Crohn's. I have PCOS. I am neurodivergent. I had a bunch of surgeries last year and some this year. I don't have a lot of spoons. So that's what really is the reason why I created this and why I'm now kind of like expanding on using it in my business. So for instance, under YouTube, if I had a lot of energy, I'm starting into vlogging. I don't know when my first one's going to go out because there's some background things that I'm trying to coordinate. That's a longer story, but in the long run, when I look at this next year, I would like to put out maybe 3 or 4. But again, that's not my one small goal. My one small goal is to actually have one vlog posted sometime in the next couple months. So I'm starting that process. So if I have like more energy. I have more energy to be in front of the camera. I have more energy to maybe have a live here on YouTube. If I don't, if I'm kind of hovering around medium, then I can record one quick video, like down facing like this, or one little part of a vlog, and say that's it for the day. And if I really am low energy, I can do some video editing. So I can take that vlog and start piecing it together just a little bit, make some thumbnails for maybe some other things, and call it, and be like, that's it. Because I am trying to fit these things along next to my personal life, right? So for me, business stuff just takes longer, and I've had to learn how to accept that. I've had a business for over 20 years for web design, brand design, and so I've had to make these shifts over time for what my body can do now. And I can't pull the all-night coding sessions. I can't do like 40 hours a week of branding work and stuff like that. I just can't. So, especially being a mom as well. So for Instagram, like high energy, film and post a whole reel. I've only done like 1 or 2 reels, but I realize as I'm filming these, I should be getting just a couple shots of what I'm doing and then sharing it. I'm shoulding on myself, but it's something that I would like to do. I don't want to do it at the frequency that I do see other creators doing it, because I will burn out. But I do see like a benefit of just kind of seeing something as a video instead of just a photo. And Instagram is not going to make me a ton of money, but I do want to have like a presence there. I mean, YouTube is my baby. I'm here. I can definitely take that reel and put it here as a short, so I'm looking at the reasons of where to be where I want to be. And Instagram and Facebook is a small part, but I do want to do more than 0 that I've been doing this last year. If I have medium energy, maybe a photo and some text just to keep the momentum going. But again, I don't want to do it just to do it. But if it's part of my strategy and I wanted to do a video that week, but I'm low energy, I have a backup. And that's what this all is about, is kind of having backup ideas. And then low energy, like a photo and text, like prep half of it. Like maybe just write a caption so that I know what picture to like take and go, oh yeah, I need to pull out that planner and take that picture or something. So yeah, my one small goal is just to have 1 reel posted at some point. To be determined at what point that is. Podcast. I have been wanting to integrate the podcast into my services and products, and I have some creative ways that I'm thinking about doing that. So to actually have that live would be really interesting. I have taken, has it been a year? Probably a year. About a year. I think I posted about a year ago. I would like to get that started again, because I do enjoy making a podcast, even though they can be like really short pieces as well. So having that kind of integrated so that it's like helpful for people, not to just like go, hey, here's like just selling. It's not about that. There's actually a deeper way of my products and services and the podcast coming together for a reason. And so I hope to share that soon. I can also record a 5-minute podcast and just upload it. I love doing those, and that may be how I re-enter, just keeping it like really simple. And then low energy, I can just write out a bunch of ideas I have for the podcast and then go back and kind of see how they're going to fit together. For coaching, I am in the process of redoing my website. It's up right now, but I'm switching it to a different service. Medium energy is like actually holding space for up to 1 client per day, that's not high energy, right? That's my medium energy. And I'm not saying I'm going to schedule that many people in, but just saying, like, if I hold that space, I may not be able to like do a podcast or a YouTube that day, but I can hold space for somebody. And we're doing coaching stuff and because that takes some emotional processing and just being there and being like live with someone it's intense. It's intense, but it's super helpful. And then scheduling and planning outreach to really let people know what that is all about and being more clear about it. And that's with redoing my site for that. So just having one additional client for that is my goal. The clients that I have for like web design stuff that I still help out because I love them so much. Coding is at the like high energy. Sometimes I can do medium if it's just a couple little things, but if it needs some intense work, doing a lot of server side stuff, I want to make sure I have energy and I'm thinking clearly because I don't want to mess anything up. So I do have a site launch coming up. And so I'm just like, I know I'll need to be well rested as well as I can and do that. Medium energy is like making small changes and edits, and then low energy, just checking in with clients, see what they need. Yeah, it's just nice to check in. And then making my consulting sessions like really accessible to people who need that. Newsletter writing and sending and schedule, like having a whole newsletter just ready, maybe even 2. And that takes some energy. It takes some writing, some like coordination, making sure it fits into my plan. Medium energy, like a rough draft. Low energy, just scheduling a quick email if I just need to get the word out about something, because it's more important to at least get the word out than to just sit on the information. So, and then my small goal is just to have 2 like scheduled newsletters in the bin. Just, it could be once a month. Maybe once every other week. I used to do weekly for quite a number of years actually. And it was a lot. I would like to do maybe once a month is where I'd like to be, just to kind of show how all these things fit together and just let people know what I'm up to and what they can get support with. And then admin stuff, emails and writing can be pretty intense, especially some of the heavier stuff. To me, it can be daunting to really write out like a nice long email. And then you're like, well, should this have been like a meeting? It depends. There's some people who are just not available for a Zoom meeting, so you're going to have to spell it out. Or some writing for the newsletter or writing for any of these things. Medium energy is like going through comments and responding. That could be kind of low energy as well. These things like balancing accounts, if you're balancing whether it's your business or personal account every day, which I typically do, there's not much to it. There's like a couple transactions, reconciling, it's done. Sometimes there's some things just to kind of like, okay, did everything come through for the month? Is there anything missing? Like, was there any surprises? Because sometimes the yearly renewals can be a surprise. If you forget to put a reminder, you're like, oh, that's right. That's renewing. But I have a pretty good plan on everything. So that's why I'm like low energy. I can just sit down and do it in about 5 or 10 minutes. But comments too. Comments I pretty much try to handle within the day. So that's kind of my plan. See, this is more planned and more goal-oriented than my personal one was at all from last year. And I know that there were multiple people who really enjoyed that one. And what I'm going to do when I have my A5 main personal planner is go over all of that again. It won't be dramatically different. I'll see if I'm interested in any goals. Personally, It's a good question, but I don't really plan on it. The goals really are for business, and that's what I wanted to kind of write this all out, kind of see how I can put this together kind of like puzzle pieces. And these squares to me can kind of shift around. It's not like a true puzzle piece where they like have to fit together a certain way. It's like these can kind of be shuffled depending on the day of how I'm feeling. So I hope that's helpful. Again, you could totally write it this way. So everything is written this way if you feel like that might be better for the flow. I've been wanting to use it this way. And so it just, for me, having the vellum there, I don't know. I was just inspired to do it that way. And I just wanted to make it really important and beautiful when I open this up and see my intentions here. And hopefully, and having an erasable pen to possibly erase some of these as the year goes and change things. You know, things are going to change. And that's the one thing about goals and it's the reason why I created this. A lot of times I'll get to February and go, wow, those goals just don't fit me anymore that quickly. You know, like, it's not my style. It's not my intention, or it feels too tight or too loose. It just doesn't fit for even how I see my outlook, like, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm trying to equate it. But I want to come back and I want to like update these or check them off and maybe make a new one. And that's the interesting thing about this book, is that there's these, I was talking with some other people who got this or got the B5 version. And I was explaining, yeah, you have a week and then you have blank page and you have a week and a blank page. And the B5 does not do that. The B5 definitely does have a bunch of dot grid, but you have the month and then the dashboard and then a week and then blank and then week and then blank. So there's a lot of blank in here, and I could see how I can take these small goals and then apply them and maybe even rewrite them somewhere in here and see how that's going. For my dashboard, I can take these goals now and break them down and put them in here. Yeah, I realize I don't even have my printables on here, but I kind of put those into like kind of admin creation. I also, with those, I don't want to say too much. So there is going to be some like hidden things, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot up there right now. I have certain goals about things there, but I really, it's more YouTube based for those right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And yeah, actually just another thing about taking some of these, like there's 8 like pie pieces here. You could definitely take these like little mini goals and see how far you're building out on some of them in here, or seeing how you are 60% done with maybe a vlog or something. So that's why I put this kind of at the beginning, because it does kind of influence everything else along the way. So let me know if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. And I would be more than happy to answer like questions about that. And look for my next one in my A5 that covers like the personal version of this, because sometimes that's a little deeper and a little more real, because you got to focus on personal stuff a lot. So you can make it every day. Business stuff sometimes can be kind of stretched out. and it's very targeted. But for personal, it's a lot of things that you just can't put to the side. So take care, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.